This is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. I'm Clint Myers on 1071 WTJN for David Denoyer on TCTV. Time now for the Mayor's Report, and with us this morning, Mayor Michael Beamish.
He is here.
He is here.
It's good morning to you, Clint. Good morning to you, David, and good morning to all the people who listen to this Troy Community Works radio station that promotes the events of this community, and I want to say thank you again.
Well, thank you. We've got such a great town that's very easy to promote.
Well, I want to start with David. David was out there. We did a ribbon cutting for the Adventures on the Great Miami. That's a new livery that's down there at Treasure Island Park. The Marina restaurant, Smith's Boathouse restaurant, is going big. We may have had a water rain incident, but it didn't affect a lot of the activities, and certainly the restaurant business was great. The river did what it was supposed to do, went up and went down, and didn't affect any of our structures. So we're very happy that we've got a plan. In fact, I'll talk about that with council. One of the ordinances that they had in front of them at the council meeting this past Monday.
That's what good planning does, you know, and it was. It was looked at by the Army Corps of Engineer and everyone with the city.
Right.
The plan was to set it up that when the water, because we know it's going to flood.
It did what it was supposed to do, and it gave us some opportunities and challenges, but it also gave us opportunities and challenges. The water went back into the river basin, and off we go. So, but I want to thank David. David was there for Troy Community Works to do the ribbon cutting. It was great, well-attended event. We had a mayor's float afterwards. It was a wonderful time to get together and meet and greet. And we had people coming from all around the region to be a part of that ribbon cutting. And David was right there with his camera highlighting that particular event, which offers a livery at Treasure Island Park with Chris Jackson and his company.
And you actually had folks that were out on the river.
Oh, yeah, I was one of them. Yeah.
You weren't in the canoe that got away.
No, I was not in the canoe that got away. I was in a 4-person raft, and we had a nice leisurely stroll down the river from Twin Arches down to Treasure Island.
Well, the weather has certainly changed for the better, and the downtown is really getting ready now for the Strawberry Festival. Lots of color out there now.
It's just tis the season.
Tis the season, for sure.
Spring into summer allows us the beauty of nature, but it also allows us all the events and activities that are taking place for people to enjoy here in really Troy, Ohio.
So they've got all the flowers, the urns are planted, the baskets are out, the fountain looks beautiful.
That's right.
So also there were a lot of other things that were going on downtown in this past week.
Well, yeah. Let me just start. The word Hobart in Troy not only talks about a legacy of Hobart's and their involvement in making Troy what it is today, but their brand name still continues to this day. And what I'm happy to say is Hobart's are celebrating 100 years in this community from 1917 to 2017. And ITW Hobart's have prepared a celebration this past week in honor of that. The city has raised a flag in honor of the 100th year anniversary of Hobart Brothers in Troy. And I just want to say thank you. There's not many Hobarts around. Bill Hobart is with us, and certainly I know he looks back in the past and looks at where Troy is today and is proud of what he's contributed.
Wonderful. Council this week?
Council did meet on Monday. We met on May 15th, and we had a number of issues. I want to start with, it's a sad story because Frank Basler passed away this past week. One of the things that the council did is a resolution in memoriam to Frank E. Basler. He was born in 1930, but I'm going to tell you, if you know the Baslers, they were connected to Troy, Ohio, USA in so many different ways. In fact, Frank Basler particularly served the city of Troy and its residents faithfully and certainly diligently as our city solicitor for 6 years. That was before we turned it to become the law director. But he served through July of 1971. But beyond that, he was always involved in a number of community organizations and activities, and he and his wife Jenny certainly deserve all the all the nice things that people say. But Frank passed away. That's a loss to the city, and the council did pass that unanimously, memoriam to Frank E. Basler, and so I want to start out by saying that. We also had a resolution where we are looking at the Miami Shores Clubhouse. We would have liked to seen the vote be more positive with the Operation Recreation. That was a grassroots effort. It didn't pass. We'll move on. But we have to start looking at our infrastructure, buildings that we own here in the city of Troy, one of which is the clubhouse at Miami Shores. And so we are going to enter into an agreement with a design firm to look at the improvements at a cost not to exceed $80,000. This is for the design, what's going to look like if we make those improvements to the shores. And that passed 9-0. Council sees that we do have to maintain our infrastructure and structures, and obviously Miami Shores is a very popular golf course, and we need to look at the future of that golf course in terms of its infrastructure. So again, that passed. The other thing was going back to Treasure Island Park. We are looking at the 2017 events, and there are 2 events. There are going to be concerts, one taking place in June, one in August, that we already have booked, but council needs to approve that because of the area where they will be serving.
So for the temporary liquor permit to serve down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course that's under the scrutiny of the arena staff, who has proven themselves to handle the arena, and they're going to handle a couple of those events, and so council has to approve that, and they did 8-1 on that particular piece of emergency legislation so that we can get that moving forward.
Now, the events that we had down there last year that had the beer wagon, so to say, handled by Hobart, all that went off wonderfully.
That's right. Thanks, Clem, for saying that. We look at each event as a separate event, and we afterwards we critique that to see if it did what we thought it would do in terms of attendance, in terms of the activity, and in terms of the people that came and how they handled themselves. And you're right, last year, if there's any indication, says this year should be just as successful.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see if there's anything. Oh, this past week, Leadership Troy, another great organization that has been for decades, where the young adults want to get involved in their community, and they take this particular 1 day a month class for the year called Leadership Troy. Well, we this past Wednesday had Government Day, and it's where we can share our statutory form of government, which is really, a lot of people don't realize, is so much different than the charter forms of government that are all around our region. We are very different in that we really follow the 3 branches of government. We have the executive branch, which the mayor gets to be the CEO of a community, and then the legislative branch, and the president of Troy City Council presides, and then we have the judicial branch with our law director. So we do have those 3 branches, and we work well together, and that's how we operate. So we share that with the Leadership Troy Day. This was a unique year. The Chamber of Commerce always asks the mayor if he'll be willing to host one person to be the honorary mayor of the day. And I've always done that, thinking who would want to be honorary mayor for the day? Well, this past year, Greg Taylor from Troy Ford won that opportunity and honor, and he turned it over to the high school for the high school to pick a student and allow
Wow.
the student to get the experience of being the honorary mayor for the day. And Hayden Jackson, many know Hayden Jackson from the football field, but I'll tell you, he's a classy young man. He's going to go places. He wants to be an engineer. He's even got his plans made. But he was the honorary mayor of the day on that Wednesday. He participated in all the Leadership Troy activities, so he picked up on some of those extra things, like a mock council meeting, of which he was the mayor representing me. So it was a great day. What else can I share with you? This has been a great week. Well, down the road, we have the historic Hobart Arena with all the renovations are going to have an open house.
Now that's going to be interesting. To be able to get in and really poke around and see everything that's changed.
And the staff will be available to answer questions. That'll be on May 22nd from 6 to 8. So they made it so that people coming off work could walk around and actually see the improvements that are made and how those improvements are going to help us with the activities and events of the future. Of course, we have high school graduation right down the road, believe it or not.
Sneaking up pretty quick.
May 27th is Troy High School's graduation at 10:30 in the morning. And, of course, many schools book the Hobart Arena because it can house graduations for their high school graduation. But ours will be, Troy High School's will be on the 27th of May after the open house date.
Okay, and then you have the Lock 12 dedication that's coming up.
Wow, yeah, that's coming down the road, so people can mark their calendars. We're still working out the logistic details, but we know if you drive down on Elm Street, right before you turn into Treasure Island Park, you'll notice there is some of the lock boulders around. What that is a reassembly look of what the dimensions were of the Canal Lock 12 of the Miami Canal. Doug Christian will be there on June the 7th to be a part of the dedication. We'll talk about the lock system. We'll dedicate that piece of history right there on Elm Street, right before you cross over into Treasure Island Park. That's coming down the road. Mark your calendars, June 7th. We'll talk more about that down the road. And, of course, the festival's just around the corner, too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, one thing, Clint and David, I want to share a little bit about something about the Hobart Arena that I think is going to be new and different. Not only just going through and walking through and seeing the improvements that are made, but outside around the Adams Street area where we usually put banners. We're going to do something unique, and I think it's going to be great. The historic Hobart Arena has seen many celebrities.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Elvis was over there.
We talk about Elvis. We talk about Liberace. We talk about, Terry Fader. Well, what we're going to try to do is put historic banners up around the Hobart Arena so people can do a walkout. Both sides of the banners will be some trivia that talks about some of the celebrities that have come through the hallowed halls of Hobart Arena. I think it's a really neat idea. Those should be up very soon, and so keep looking at the banners along Adams Street and around Hobart Arena, but because that's gonna teach us a little history of who
has come to Troy, Ohio.
Yeah.
Thanks to Hobart Arena.
That's right. That's Roy Rogers even. That's in my era. Roy Rogers was even there.
All right. Is there anything else that you can think of that's going on here in our near future? There is so much as we head into summer.
We're beginning to start our summer concert series, Proudly Plaza, Treasure Island, all the events on both. Most of them are free entertainment for people to come out of all ages. In May, even next week, in May, we're going to start having the civic band, the jazz band, the high school orchestra. People come down. They're going to have some lunchtime entertainment, So
That's
people-
always a good time.
That's always a great time. It starts our season off on a really positive note with some talented youngsters and teachers directing those bands.
And then June 16th, we have Funky G and the Groove Machine.
How about that?
That is the first band that's going to be downtown on Prouty at 7:30 in the evening.
It just keeps on going. When we start the season, it just keeps rolling.
All right. Well, Mayor, I think that wraps us up for this week.
I think so, and we will have some other tidbits of information to share next week, so stay tuned.
All right. This has been the Mayor's Report with Mayor Michael Beamish. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN.